Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Tom Turner.
And I'm Emma Stewart. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
We'll be talking public transport as the B Network announces an expansion that will broaden its services.
We'll pay a visit to Young Entrepreneurs Club in Salford, who support young businesses by eliminating any barriers standing between young people and business success.
A Salford litter picking group is encouraging the public to get involved and fight waste in public parks. Our reporters Lizzie and Leighton went for a visit to find out more.
And With Love Mr Gay, a new award-winning musical arrives in Salford, aiming to highlight the declining mental health of the LGBTQ+ community.
Greater Manchester's B Network is expected to undergo further expansion, bringing rail services into the network by 2028. The new changes are part of Mayor Andy Burnham's plans to create a London-style system in the North West. Propositions include 8 commuter rail lines joining the network in 3 stages, intended to deliver major improvements to services and passenger experience. Here's Alfie Mulcahy with more.
That's exactly right, Tom.
It's been announced that 8 commuter rail lines are due to join the B network starting in 2026. It'll see 64 railway stations brought under the control of Transport for Greater Manchester as opposed to Northern or Network Rail. The takeover has been split into 3 different phases. Phase 1 will be complete by the end of 2026 and will see tap-in, tap-out ticketing across 17 stations on the first 2 lines between Manchester Victoria and Stalybridge and Manchester Piccadilly and Glossop. By December 2027, tap-in, tap-out will extend to a further 2 lines, including from Piccadilly to the airport. Phase 3 will see services to Rochdale and Wigan added to the network, completing Manchester's new London-style integrated travel scheme. It's the last step in the chain, led by Andy Burnham, after the last phase of the rollout of B Network buses was completed earlier this month. Earlier on today, I took a trip to Manchester to ask rail passengers what they think.
I think it's really time to modernise all transport systems. Clearly I travel between London and Manchester and I live in Lancashire, I commute. I'm always left with the feeling when I get back to Manchester, it's not as connected as it should be.
I've got my Los Angeles transport card. Right? Now, the Los Angeles system is exactly the same. It covers the buses, the trains and the trams, which are exactly the same, without even make the same noise. We make things complicated. We don't need to have them complicated.
So it'll give you a lot more choice, and it's great that sort of like Andy Burnham's getting all this going and extending the B-line trams and everything, so it's making it more accessible.
Passengers will start to see the difference next year when B Network branded trains will begin to hit the network. Alfie Mulcahy, Quays News, Manchester.
Next up, Salford City Council are working closely with the environmental group Salford's Litter Heroes to protect the city's green spaces. Every Sunday, the group clean throughout Salford's parks using the free litter picking kit gifted to them by the council.
Islington Park is overcome by litter. The children's space, once bright and full, is now home to a manner of drugs, alcohol and waste. Litter causes issues like contributing to pollution, killing animals and destroying wildlife. I spoke with Salford Litter Heroes ambassador Andy Salter on what his community is doing to resolve the issues.
There's no particular planned route, I just kind of follow the litter. But now I've been doing it a while, sort of try and take ownership for certain areas because it's being proven the more you keep an area clean, the more it starts to get respected and it will stay cleaner for longer.
The impact of waste in a children's play area affects child safety. The worse the litter, the more harm it is likely to cause. I spoke with Brendan Kevill, the local Labour councillor for Ordsall, on what is being done about the issue.
So it is a priority, as I said, like kind of, litter and fly tip and said for residents. So it's like we come together, as I said, like kind of to do these regular litter picks. And what's good is, as I said, not just as I said, the opportunity to like kind of get in there and like kind of address the litter and make the area look better. But it's a good opportunity to go and see what the issues are and where the problems are, so we can work with the council teams, and we can also go and work with, you know, the landowners, you know, who, as I said, where there's issues on their lands with litter. So it's just like time to raise those issues and try and find like kind of sustainable solutions. And really would encourage, as I said, like kind of residents to, you know, get out this regular litter pits that take place across Aldsworth.
To help combat this issue, contact Salford Litter Heroes on Facebook.
According to mental health charity Mind, LGBTQ+ people are more likely to have mental health problems and experience low self-esteem. A show in Salford, With Love Mr Gay, hopes to demonstrate this after its award-winning debut at the Greater Manchester Fringe. The show not only highlights mental health issues, but also the way homophobia and shame has pervaded society. Here is Kat with more.
With Love Mr Gay stemmed from a debacle over bins and a missing Buddha that resulted to a death threat that said, "Dear Mr Gay, if you move my bin again, I will get an ex-mercenary to destroy you." From Flat 2.
Say like the headmistress asking if I'm gay when I'm 7 years old. Did I say that today? Yeah. I didn't skip that line, that's good. Or be it some guy getting kicked out of a B&B because he realised I was gay, or, you know, being kind of threatened with an attack in London last year by a tourist. All that stuff is true.
According to Mental Health Foundation, members of the LGBTQ+ community are at a greater risk of experiencing hate crimes compared to heterosexual people.
It's very relevant right now. I know that you say we were careful and gentle with how we reflect what's going on in the world, but also it is important to tell stories about this.
I absolutely love showing off. I love being on stage. I love people listening to my stories. It's just a load of fun. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, it is important for all that sort of stuff, but fundamentally, it's a lot of fun showing off.
My beautiful neighborhood, my neighborhood, my beautiful neighborhood.
I think that I've been given more opportunities by Josh than anyone, and I love sharing his words, whether it be telling the history of Manchester or arguments between neighbours or a permanent state of emergency between people living in Europe. He's a very good writer, lots of different stories to tell, I think, but you always get his heart in the stories. No, it's true, even in the tour as well.
Free Manchester Walking Tours, founded by Joshua Val Martin in 2015, offer entertaining and informative introductions to Manchester. Their guides share Manchester's must-see attractions and hidden gems. They even have an LGBTQ+ Manchester Walking Tour exploring Manchester's famous gay village. This play was not only a performance about someone's neighbour moving their bin, but an exploration of sexuality, the harsh realities queer people face, and a £14.99 Buddha.
Be good allies by sharing these stories, looking out for your friends, and not just thinking you're doing enough by just knowing what's right and wrong, because that's not always enough.
That's sound advice, I'd say.
Yeah.
Kat Foley, Quays News.
The Traitors has taken to UK by storm, with over 10 million viewers tuning in to Season 3. Host Claudia Winkleman says the absolute beauty of The Traitors is the game itself, which follows a group of people aiming to eliminate the traitors among them while attempting to stay undetected throughout challenges.
Emma, do you think you'd be a good traitor?
I don't know. I thought I would. I really thought I would. And then I thought, as soon as someone accused me, I'd burst into laughter. I think I'd
absolutely bottle it.
And I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I am. Enjoy the money. I hope it makes you very happy.
Yeah, no, that's right. You've got to, stay on the straight and narrow.
But what do you think of last night's episode, the most recent episode?
Oh, my goodness me. It was a biggie. It was a biggie. Traitor Mina went home. Little Freddie was recruited. Oh, yeah, spoiler warning for anyone. But I'm excited for the episode tonight. I'm going to be tucked up in bed at 9 p.m. And we'll go on to the final tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Well, continuing with entertainment, our reporter Henry visited the Creatures of the Night Comedy Club in Northern Quarter to hear about how they support people to smile more.
Having only recently moved into the basement of Wilson's Social, Creatures of the Night Comedy Club is looking to make people smile through the gloomy season. To find out more, I spoke with comedian and owner of the club, Evan Demaray.
If people are struggling and they need help and they don't have anybody, I think comedy clubs and comedy in general is a great way to relate to people, because that's what music is, that's what art is. it's connecting with people, but comedy does it in a way where you have that kind of payoff, where like a song could be a sad song and keeps you in that sad moment, where comedy can talk about sad things, but it gives you that break of tension, that relieves that energy, and it has that catharsis for people who are kind of like struggling.
Dad, how does that make you feel? I feel connected with you.
For what we do here at Creatures, our market is the kind of the night people, right? The people who are out on the road, like just the messes, right? The creatures.
How do you appeal to those sorts of people? Like, what events do you put on to gather that audience and to build that foundation for your club?
I would say nothing necessarily in specific, beyond the point that we put on shows every night of the week, multiple times a night, giving people the ability to be like, oh, I wish I could see a comedy show tonight. Well, I know they do it.
Who spells these with an X? Oh.
Henry Kitching, Northern Quarter, Quays News.
It's set to be a massive week for Greater Manchester sports teams. Both Salford City and Manchester United are yet to play this week, with Sale Sharks looking to continue their impressive run of form, playing league leaders Bath on Sunday. Our sports correspondent Alice Cross joins us for more.
More on the rugby in a moment. The football last night brought a crushing defeat for Manchester City in the Champions League in a vital qualifier in Paris, losing 4-2 to PSG despite having taken a 2-goal lead early on in the second half, putting great risk on their trophy campaign.
They have a moment, they had the moments, they have one or two, we have one or two in terms of chances, but they were better. So it was 0-2, we fine, we scored a goal in 5 minutes, they scored a goal in 5 minutes. So.
Meanwhile, tonight, Manchester United hope to do better than their rivals as they take on Rangers in their Europa League clash, which is being called the Battle of Britain. Rangers have sold out their 4,000 ticket allocation, and we've been talking to some of the fans ahead of the game.
Rangers 3-1. I think United have to win. They are going to win because they are in a bad situation now and they have to win. I think 3-1 United, 2-1 United. So it's either going to be a lot of goals or like 4 and young goals. So either or, I don't know really. It's one of those games we don't know what's going to be.
Salford City hit the road to take on Cheltenham Town in League 2 this weekend. The Ammies kick off at 3 p.m. and are looking to return to form after 2 consecutive losses. They are currently 7th in the table with a playoff place still on the cards. Rugby Union now, and Sale Sharks hope to continue their impressive home form as they play league leaders Bath at the Salford Community Stadium on Sunday. In Rugby League, it's been a turbulent month for Salford Red Devils, but the RFL have confirmed today that they are optimistic a takeover deal at the club will be agreed. The Red Devils were placed under special measures to plug their financial deficit. They've been ordered to shave £800,000 off their overheads.
Thank you, Alice. I headed to the Young Entrepreneurs Club in Manchester on Tuesday to see how they help businesses collaborate and grow through networking opportunities and knowledge enhancement. Founder of the club, Katie Bowater, told me about how she started her business at the age of 18 and felt unwelcome and intimidated by her environment. Wanting to abolish this, Katie set up the club for people who had had similar experiences. I am here at the Young Entrepreneurs Club, founded by Katie Bowater, a young entrepreneur who founded the club after finding herself always being the youngest at business networking events.
So Young Entrepreneurs Club is basically a social, informal networking group for 18 to 35-year-old both aspiring entrepreneurs and existing young entrepreneurs to come together, connect, collaborate, and if nothing else, just make friends, because I've been in business since about the age of 18 and I've just found that business can be a bit lonely, even when you have a great support network and loads of friends around you. If your friends don't also do business, it can be sometimes hard. It's hard to bounce ideas or to ask advice, so I just thought I'd create a community of similar people like me.
The Young Entrepreneurs Club hosts monthly social networking events to connect with different businesses.
I think from myself, I'm coming into my 40s now, so I think that when I was young, having something like this when I was younger to drive kind of the motivation, the kind of aspiration to become an entrepreneur, or if you have a business idea, to actually have the courage and the guts to execute that and run with it and go and find advice and help that you could do, that you could grab from people that are around here at these events to actually become what you really want to be in life. So I think a lot of young people get stuck in that 9-to-5 routine because it's a job, and it's like, we don't need to do that.
The events are packed with different people with varied experiences, one of which was Stephen, who finds events like these ones has helped his confidence massively.
I think 6 months ago or back in July I'd done no networking, and now I'm probably at an event a week. You know, I would have never thought I'd be able to go over to like 3 people having a conversation and introduce myself. The thought of it would make me sick. But now it just comes second nature. I come into a room, see someone chatting, and I'm like, right, let's see what they do. And it just comes second nature now.
Emma Stewart, Quays News.
Now over to Oliver with the weather.
Thanks, Tom. Storm Ione is set to batter the UK from tomorrow morning, the 24th of January. The storm is currently heading across the Atlantic as it moves closer to the British Isles. It will batter Northern Ireland, the Isle of Man and southwest Scotland, where red warnings are in place for 80 to 90 mph winds, meaning potential danger to life. This storm will be more powerful and more widespread than Storm Dara, with more severe gusts. However, in Salford we will experience gale force winds of no more than 60 mph, resulting in a yellow weather warning. Salford will not feel the full effects like other parts of the country. Earlier today I spoke to a retired senior Met officer about the storm.
Ione is a significant storm that's been followed by the international weather models, developing quickly now, deepening quickly in the North Atlantic, which is all very interesting to meteorologists like myself. It's a bizarre one. It's being caused by high altitude jet stream over the North Atlantic, and at high altitude it's blowing at over 250 miles an hour, but it's also sucking up air very quickly from sea level.
Thanks, Oliver. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.